Ever since I was a small child, I have always struggled with insomnia or just in general sleep issues. And I got a Fitbit back in 2016 and I kind of became addicted to using it because I love that it tracks your sleep. And that's the one reason why I actually returned my Apple Watch after about a week, because it didn't track my sleep. I believe that what you track, you improve. And no matter what I've tried doing, I've never been able to really get consistent with my sleeping patterns. And, sleep affects everything, your moods, your health, your eating. And in turn your weight. And so I have been trying all sorts of different things, natural approaches, cutting back my caffeine, trying melatonin, and my body just doesn't respond to sleep aids. I've tried, Tylenol PM through the years, even Ambien, different things. And the stuff that did work would just knock me out and I would feel groggy. And so I, obviously don't want to take it, and you don't want to rely on that. I've tried, journaling before bed, all sorts of different things, because this has always been a huge issue for me. Well, on Instagram, I found somebody that I connected with on, several different levels. And she actually was telling me that she was a hypnotist. And I was like, wow. I was like, how did you get into that? And she shared with me that years ago, she left an abusive, relationship, and found herself living in a 1-bedroom apartment, sharing a bed with her 2 small children. And she stumbled across a YouTube video of a hypnotherapist. And it completely changed her life, and it took her from being negative to really being more positive. And then because it changed her life, she wanted to make this her career. And I totally, that type of story resonates with me, because for me, fitness completely changed my life, and then that made me want to give back and share with other people the happiness and the joy and everything that I found from fitness. So anyways, she was telling me the video that she first watched, and I was like, do you have that video? Like, I'm just curious. I would love to see what it's about. And so the other night, I was like, I'll listen to this before I go to bed. And I've gotten into a habit, and this is something that really goes back from childhood, is that I've always needed sound. And this is my ADD personality as well. My anxiety is like, my mind's always racing, and so if I have something to listen to, it kind of just like calms my mind. So I've gotten into a habit of listening to or watching, something on Netflix or, Hulu or something to fall asleep to. And then, it just keeps running and running until it eventually stops. And I, don't think that that's great, because, the pitch of the sound goes up and down on television shows. It wakes my husband up, and he gets irritated, so he turns it off. And I honestly, I've done a lot of research, and stuff that I've read, is that what you listen to even in your sleep, affects your mind. So obviously listening to junk trash TV or, dramas can, cause anxiety or, things that are going on in the back of your head. So anyways, I decided to listen to this, video that she told me about. It was like maybe 6 minutes. And what's so crazy is my husband did, tell me the next morning, he's like, you fell asleep right away. And what's crazy is when I started listening to it, this chick was like, basically like, hey, have you ever heard of Tony Robbins? Basically, through, hypnosis, we're going to do a pattern interrupt. And if you know me, I'm a fucking Tony Robbins fan. If you say that you love Tony Robbins, you instantly earn my respect. I went to several of his events, worked with his life coaches, read his books. The man is like literally like my favorite human being in the world that I've never met. We're best friends, and he just doesn't know it. But instantly I earned respect to this lady. I was like, I fucking dig what you're saying. And like before the 6 minutes was up, I was asleep. And what was crazy is I do remember, because my husband and I were talking about this morning, is that there was, because he had listened to like hypnosis tapes when he was a kid, because he has ADHD and his mom tried to get him to do that. He swore hypnosis doesn't work for him. And I've always thought it was like, fucking weird shit. And, and the older I get, the more open-minded I am to stuff. So many people say they don't believe in things and they close their mind off to it and they've never even tried it. But anyways, I remember now, because we were talking about it this morning, is that she was saying something about, blah, 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 when I count to 3, you open your eyes. Or, in the beginning, they're like, close your eyes. And he's like, when I count to 3, you're going to open your eyes. When I count back into 1, you're going to close your eyes. And what's crazy is like, I remember that I was like almost asleep. And then as she was counting, my eyes were like open. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want to open my eyes. I'm tired. But then I closed them and I was like doing the same thing. And I'm like, maybe it's because I follow directions really well. But I, noticed that worked. And so I really actually haven't gotten through the whole video, the 6-minute video, because the first 2 nights I tried to listen to it when I was going to sleep, I fell asleep. And so then I was like, well, this shit works. So last night I played another one that I found on YouTube, that it was like, hypnosis for, anxiety, and I deal with, really bad anxiety. So I started playing it, and then I've woken up every night, because if you have ever watched the video on YouTube, it just loops to the next, relatable video. And so I've woken up, maybe 2 hours in, and like felt my phone under my pillow and turned it off because it was like super hot from running the whole entire time. But I have not fucking slept that good in forever. And I was showing my husband, he was like, oh my God, he was like, I could kind of hear it. And he's like, and I thought it sounded like a hypnotist, because, he'd listened to it as a kid. And so I pulled up my Fitbit app and I looked at my sleep, and I was showing him that literally for the last couple of weeks, my sleep has been like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. And no matter what time I went to sleep, no matter, what my caffeine consumption was, I just couldn't get any more than 6 hours and like 26 minutes of sleep. But the last 3 nights since I've been listening to it, my sleep has been at 7 and 8 hours. And so maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know, but I'm going to keep testing out, because I have not slept that good in a really long time. So I just wanted to share that. There's so many people out there, they're probably like me, that's like, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. It doesn't fucking work. It's all, hocus pocus shit, but it worked for me. And, if anything, maybe the hypnosis part doesn't work, but the fact that my mind was focused on something that was like an even pitch, that didn't like cause me to wake up or, send weird messages to my brain. This was like, all about like confidence and like, relaxing. And it was just a very relaxing thing to focus on, instead of focusing on my worries or things that I had to do or I didn't get done. But I'll say the last 3 days I have slept great. And the proof is literally in my, sleep log that is recorded through my Fitbit. And so anyways, I just wanted to share it with you. I believe that never knock anything until you've actually tried it.